Hey everyone, happy Monday. Right now I am at Castle Wars because as you all know, I am going for the hybrid helms and I am also going for the Castle Wars shield and halo. Now I have 128 tickets I believe and about 62 Castle Wars wins because with the tickets I have ties and everything, so I'm not really sure how many exact wins I have, but I think it's about 62. And I know you need at least 60 for the Castle Wars helm, so I should be getting a Castle Wars helm anytime soon. And that'll be cool, and then I'll just have to work towards the shield, which is 200 tickets, and then the halo, which is 300. But hopefully I will be able to finish that soon, because I don't really like Castle Wars that much. If you know me, right now I'm in World 24. Usually I'll be playing Castle Wars with some friends and automatically win, because I just can't stand playing a game for 20 minutes and just not, coming out with what you need, and what I need is wins. I'm not trying to get 5,000 Castle Wars games, so I would just really appreciate, winning my games that I play and not wasting my time, because some people enjoy playing Castle Wars or not wasting their time. They don't think of it as wasting their time, but to me it's just a waste of time, playing 25-minute games, which 5 minutes for the wait and then 20 minutes for the game to, get 0 tickets. I mean, you do get a game for the trim completionist, but that's not what I'm going for. So I appreciate winning my games. So anyway, besides that, that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I've been doing recently. After I get my hybrid helm and probably my shield, I will head down to Soul Wars and get the hybrid bottoms, and then I'm done with my hybrid set, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much all I'm doing in RuneScape right now, is playing some mini games, enjoying myself, and having a good time. But first, before I get into my story, I would like to give a shout out to Floor FC, which is Floor French Chat. It's Floor FC right there with the owner right there, and I am a rank for it. It's people who want to buy Dungeoneering floors. I know a lot of people get scammed and shit like that because they go into, random people and they're like, oh, I'll sell you floors. And you're like, okay, and you give them 2 mil and they log out. But this French chat was made by one of my friends, and he gave me a rank, so I'll probably be keying for people every now and then, either free floors or, if I charge people for the normal prices for selling floors. But just so you don't get scammed, I thought you guys, if you want to leech any dungeons for decent prices, not rate prices, then head down to Floor FC and check that out. My friend runs it, so it's legit. Everyone who's a rank gets paid. They pay for the rank. So if anyone needs Dungeoneering floors or needs to leech or is doing homework and needs to get XP and wants to spend 2 mil or 3 mil on a floor, then come into that French chat and get a host. I mean, if you need anyone to key you dungeons or whatever, just if I'm in there, let me know and I'll see what I can do. But check that French chat out. Use that if you need any Dungeoneering help. And that's about it. So I just wanted to give a shout out for my friend because he just started it and it's actually quite successful, as you see all the people in here that are actually buying floors. And we only have like 8 ranks in here right now, and there's a lot of people in here. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out for him because he's always helped me out. So I thought I'd help him out as well, and it's nice of him that he gave me a rank. So check that out. But anyways, let's get into the story. We are going to talk about how I got my first cell phone. Now, everyone's probably like, that's not a pretty interesting topic, Lee. I don't know why you're going to be talking about that. But it actually is an interesting topic because the way I got my first cell phone was pretty interesting. Now, back then, and when I say back then, I say about 10 years ago, I was in 6th or 5th grade, whatever. I don't really remember exactly how old I was or how many years ago it was, but I'm just going to say 10 because it's just a nice round number. And about 10 years ago, I wanted my first cell phone because at the time, cell phones were just getting big and everyone was starting to get them. And everyone was like, oh, you gotta get a cell phone, they're cool, you could talk to anyone, anywhere, and, you don't have to have a house phone and stuff like that. So they were getting big, and people were really wanting them, and it wasn't even for text messaging, it was actually for calling. So I know a lot of people get cell phones nowadays to text or to go on Facebook and shit like that, but no, we wanted it to call people. Like, I wanted to call my friend from my cell phone and be like, yo, I'm talking to you from my cell phone, isn't this crazy? So I really wanted one. I was like, Dad, come on, please, I want a cell phone. I mean, all my friends have it, 2 of my friends got it. I saw people with it and they're so cool and they're just talking to people outside the buses and it's sick. I mean, I really wanted one. Now remember, I'm in like 6th grade when this happened, so they were just starting to get big in like probably 5th or 6th grade for me, and everyone was starting to get them. And at the time, my dad's like, no, you're too young to get a cell phone. You don't need one. Who are you going to call that you can't call on a house phone? You don't need a cell phone. He's right. He's 100% right. Back then, you don't need a cell phone, especially when you're just wanting it for calling people. I mean, now smartphones are kind of necessary in today's world. But, all the kids nowadays, they turn 2 years old and their first new gift is an iPhone. And it's ridiculous. It really is. It's just insane that, their parents actually buy them like iPhones right away. And my 2-year-old cousin is crazy. You hand him like a book and he doesn't know how to read, but you hand him an iPhone and he knows how to slide it, like slide to unlock it. He knows how to, press Angry Birds, and he knows how to play Angry Birds. It's nuts. It really is nuts what the like world is transforming into. Like when I saw that, I was just like, no way, he just did that. Like he can't read a book, but he can swipe open an iPhone and play games on an iPhone. That's just nuts. That's nuts. Get out of here. So I couldn't believe that, and that's why it kind of triggered this topic when I saw my cousin do that, when I saw him about a week ago. And someone also asked me, who's I guess a younger audience of my videos, they wanted to know how I got my first cell phone because they want to get their first cell phone. So I mean, it's probably different for you now because cell phones are more broad and a lot of more people have them. So at this time when I was getting mine, it was not the same case. So anyways, I wanted one really bad. My dad said, no, you don't need one, we'll wait till you're older. And I was really pissed because, I really wanted it, but obviously I understand. I'm glad he did that because it did teach me some morals of, you don't have to get everything you want immediately. But anyways, how I got my first cell phone is that same year that I actually wanted it. Towards the end of the year, there was a program called After School Sports. Now, we would stay after school, obviously, after you finish school, and we would play sports. And there was a game called Scatter Dodgeball, which was the best game ever, and you would literally have this little ball, and it's dodgeball, but you can run around, and it's crazy. It is a nasty game. It was so much fun. I wish I could play it right now. I had so much fun playing that game, and the reason why it was so much fun is because everyone played it. Everyone in the school pretty much signed up for after school sports and played this. So we're all playing after school sports, having a great time, and this isn't new. It's probably after school sport was going on for like 2 months before this incident happened. And pretty much I would get out of school at like 1:20 p.m. and after school sports I would get home at like 3:20 p.m. It was like an hour and a half and then plus the bus ride. So it was like I would get home at 3, and that was what was normal. And my mom was out that day, and my dad was pretty much going to pick me up off the bus. And that day I had after school sports. So we played after school sports. I was, a dumb 6th grader getting hit in the face with balls and loving every second of it. And, throwing balls back and hitting people with balls and loving every second of it. Trying not to sound gay or homosexual at all, but you guys get the joke. So I'm just having a great time, and then we get on the bus, and what I noticed was it wasn't our normal bus driver. And I usually had this, I guess middle-aged lady who was the bus driver, and she knew exactly where to go. I would get dropped off like 6th out of like 40 stops because there were so many kids on each bus. And I would get dropped off 6th. So we had this new bus driver, and I didn't know who it was. It was some, like, I guess a middle-aged or older Spanish woman. And she had no idea where to go. She had no idea. We got on the bus, and we're like, this girl just started pulling out and driving. And she, like, 5 minutes into the drive, we didn't stop anywhere yet. And usually by 5 minutes in, we did 2 stops already. So 5 minutes in within the trip, she's like, does anyone know where blank 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 street is? And we're 6th graders. Like she's the one with the job driving the bus, and she's asking us if we know where we're going, and we have no idea because we're 6th graders. Like you think we have any sense of direction? Absolutely not. We don't even have cell phones. So anyway, we get to this random place, and what's crazy is about 20 minutes later we still haven't dropped off anyone, and we end up in a town. I'm not going to say the town's name, but the reason why I knew we were in the town is because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Magic cards at this place, and I knew it was like a 15-20 minute drive from my house. And I was like, what are we doing here? This is nowhere near. It was in a different school district. We had no idea where we were, and we're like, why are we here? And she's like, I can't find this street. And we're like, well, it's not over here. So she ended up getting lost, like crazy lost. And I don't have a cell phone to call my dad or something, and he's probably worried as hell because at the time it's like 4:35, and we're in a town that's nowhere near my town. And no one's been dropped off. It's snowing, so there's snow everywhere, and it's slippery, icy roads. And we ended up having to get like stuck in a I guess it's a dead end. She had no idea where she went. She just turned on a random street, and we ended up in a dead end. And we had to do a 3-point turn in a bus in like the smallest little like cul-de-sac, and it was the most ridiculous thing ever. It was icy, so she's slipping. She had to like stop, brake every. It took like 20 minutes to do a 3-point turn in this freaking school bus. So anyways, we get out of the dead end, we go all over the freaking Long Island, and we end up, dropping someone off at like 6 was the first time we dropped someone off, or we're like relatively in the area. So anyways, it ended up that I got dropped off at like 9 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. at night. At night, I got dropped off from school, from after school sports. So it was like a 6-hour or 5-hour bus ride. Now, if you think about that, that's absolutely insane for a 6-year-old. I mean, not a 6-year-old, a 6th grader. For a 6th grader to get dropped off 6 hours after he was supposed to drop off. And my dad was worried as hell. He was like, he had no idea where I was because I couldn't contact him anyway. I didn't have a cell phone. My friends didn't have a cell phone on the bus. I couldn't call him. I didn't know numbers and stuff like that. I mean, I knew my house phone number, but I couldn't just call him out of nowhere. And he was probably worried as hell. And my dad, immediately after I got off the bus, which to add insult to injury, I actually right off after I got off the bus, I've been sitting for 6 hours, and I got off the bus and I said it was icy. And once I got off the bus, I literally took one step and I slipped on ice and fell on my back. And that was probably the most embarrassing thing ever, because after the 6 hours of being lost on a bus, I just slipped and fell on my ass. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is miserable. So anyway, obviously you can laugh at me for falling down into the ground, but my dad immediately, he was waiting at the bus stop for, I don't know, he said like 5 hours, and he just, he got out of the car and, put me in the car, and he was like, what happened? I was like, the bus driver got lost and I can't do anything. He's like, okay, well, you're getting a cell phone for emergencies. So it's funny that it turned out that I didn't even have to ask for it just because my bus driver got lost and I spent 6 hours on a bus. And, what's funny is that everyone, doesn't understand that, it's a 6 hour bus ride, whatever, or, the people don't understand how close the school relatively is to my house. Let's just say this. I could walk to my house from my elementary school right now in about 6 minutes. 6 minutes, I can walk home. It's literally right, like, my development is right across the street from my elementary school, and I'm all the way at the end of my development. So it literally takes about 6 minutes to walk from the elementary school to my house. And my high school is right behind the elementary school, so if I wanted to, I could walk to my high school in about 15 minutes, when I went to high school, but I still took the bus because I was within range. But that's how close it was to my house, and I ended up, 6 hours later getting home. So after all that craziness and getting on the bus and getting lost and slipping and falling and, not being able to contact my dad, he said, after, since it's an emergency, only for emergencies use your cell phone, but I'm going to get you a cell phone. And it was awesome because I really wanted one, and I guess the 6 hour bus trip was worth it. But I finally got a cell phone, and ever since then, obviously, I've been addicted. I don't know what I would do without my smartphone nowadays. I literally have my iPhone strapped to my hands, like, all the time. I'm one of those bad people, like, if you're on, like, a dinner date or a business meeting, you're on your phone or anything like that. I mean, I'm always in, you guys always know when I'm on my phone. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on all this other stuff. I hate Facebook, though. I'm just saying, I don't use Facebook, like, for my personal use. I have one for my personal use, but I talk to people on the Regicidal production like page. And I use Twitter, I use Instagram, I text, I do all that stuff. So I'm sucked into the world just like everyone else is, like my 2-year-old cousin who knows how to open an iPhone and not read a book. So my tip for anyone who wants to get a cell phone is, if your parents say you don't need one, you're too young, or, just wait it out, listen to them, because just enjoy your time. Obviously, it sucks with all your friends having phones and you're not, but just take your time with it. You don't need a phone right away, and once you get one, you're going to be sucked in it for life, and you're going to hate it, because it's just like, you can't live without it. When your phone dies, you go through withdrawals, and it's terrible. Like, I'm just saying this because I know people who do that. I don't go through withdrawals without my phone, but it does suck, because you have your phone with you all the time, and then when it dies, it's like, I have nothing to do, and you become dependent on your phone. So don't rush into getting a cell phone. I'm glad I didn't rush into getting one, but I did get one because the right reason, because I needed it for emergencies like that. But don't just like try and don't beg your parents for a cell phone. When they think it's right for you to have a cell phone, they'll give you one, and don't argue their opinion. But that's how I got my first cell phone. So if you want to get a cell phone, or you already have a cell phone, you have a smartphone or any kind of phone, cherish that you have it and use it. Make sure you have it for emergencies. Don't kill the battery on Twitter and stuff. Make sure you can dial 911, because that's really what it's for, is for emergencies, for calling, and for calling your parents if you need to get picked up and stuff like that. So don't overhype your cell phone. Don't use it all the time. Remember, it is an emergency tool, and you're lucky to have one, because back in the day, kids didn't have cell phones like they do now. So anyways, that's all for that story. That's how I got my first cell phone. I hope you enjoyed listening to that, and I hope anyone who doesn't have a cell phone gets one soon that they want. And don't rush it, because your parents will know when it's best for you to get a cell phone. Or you might have a freak story like me and need an emergency and need a cell phone. So anyways, if you have a story about how you got your first cell phone, or any crazy story about the phone, or any emergency situation where you got lost or your parents couldn't contact you, leave it in the comments below. I love reading your stories. Like I said, I read all of the ones from the bad date one, and those were hilarious. I read most of the ones from the last one, which was the bad teacher one, and that's pretty, you guys had some funny teacher stories. But comment these stories below. I don't think there will be as many stories as there was for the past 2 weeks, because this is more of a like straight topic. Like, this is more, it's not like a generic topic like a bad date. This is like cell phone, like when you got your first cell phone. And I would like to know how you guys got your first cell phone. I don't know the age range between my viewers. I think it's between I would say 13 and 21. So I'm guessing most of you have cell phones already, but let me know how you got your first cell phone. If you didn't get it just because you're in this generation, if you actually had a funny story behind it, let me know, and I'd be interested to hear it. But thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys soon, probably Thursday for the podcast, but I want to let you guys know that I'm working really hard on a bunch of songs. I'm working on the mixtape, a rap battle, all these other ideas, Fun Stuff Fridays, podcasts. I have a lot of things going on right now, and yes, it's the summer, and I have a lot of time to work with, but I'm just trying to like make everything come out relatively around the same time. So I'm thinking about this week just releasing a song. I have a beat, and I'm almost done with the lyrics, and I just want to go off on a song. And I wrote on Twitter one time, I was like, would you guys mind if I just took a beat and literally went off of it and just punchline after punchline for Runescape lyrics? And everyone was like, yeah, do it, we love random stuff, yeah. So I really just want to go off on a track, and just, even if it makes no sense, because I love, I'm all about rap that ties in with the subject, like the Ross anthem. That was a subject, and every line connected with every line, connected with every line. The Adventurer, pretty much all about adventuring and connected with every line. This song, I just literally want to go off and just have punchlines after punchlines and give people like something to think about, like when you hear a line and you're like, wow, that was crazy, like how did you just think of that? Like that's a RuneScape thing, and he just made it into a sick line. And I just want it to flow well, and something that you guys can blast in your car and people wouldn't think it's a bad song just because it's about RuneScape, because they wouldn't even know. I would just have punchline after punchline. So let me know what you think about that. I'm probably going to release that this week. RuneScape rap battle, I'm going to try to put one out either this weekend or next weekend. I have the idea, I have the concept, I just got to finish writing the lyrics and everything. But anyways, that's all for this Monday commentary. I will talk to you guys soon. Make sure you check out Floor Friends Chat, the Dungeoneering Friends Chat. If you need any leech floors or you need anyone to sell you floors, check out them, because my friend runs it and it's a good thing he's doing for people. I mean, obviously you have to pay for the service, but it is a service, so you do have to pay for it. But he is doing a nice thing by making sure you don't get scammed, and if you do get scammed, he will give you a full refund, so don't worry about any of that. And I will try to help you guys out with Dunge anyway. If you need a floor, I might do one for free. I'll just do one for, if you're close to a repeat or something, I'll do a free floor or anything like that. If you need a Gorg weapon made or a Prom weapon made, I'll do it for free. Just let me know. Come into that chat, say what's up. I might not be in there all the time, but when I'm in there, just say what's up, and I will talk to you guys. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Talk to you later, everyone. Bye.